All right, kids, we're here at Natural Bridge Caverns. That's right, we're gonna be going underground. And I have even better news. You're not taking one of these. Boop. Boop. No, you're walking underground with your fantastic tour guide here at Natural Bridge Caverns, Sophia. She's going to take you into a cave that was discovered back in 1960. That's the year you were born, Rose. Oh, I'm just kidding. That was a long time ago. Are you ready to go underground?
Yeah!
Well, I'm not going with you, so you should go find Sophia and have fun while I take a look at the natural bridge itself, which is above ground. All right, let's go find Sophia. Come on.
Welcome to our Natural Bridge Caverns, everybody. My name is Sophia. I'm gonna be y'all's tour guide. So, just like your teacher had said, this cave was found in 1960 by 4 college students that were students just like you. And do you guys know why we call this Natural Bridge Caverns?
Why?
If you guys look right up over there, that's our natural bridge. So that's our namesake. That's where we get our Natural Bridge Caverns from. So we're gonna go ahead and head down into the cave. Guys, remember, just walk very carefully. You guys ready to go in?
Yeah!
All right, follow me. There are a bunch of different types of caves. Some, they're made by water, some are made by wind, some are made by the movement of the ground too. But the most common type of cave that we have in our state are limestone caves, like the one that we're in right now. The cave that we're in specifically was made by a combination of the movement of the ground and water coming down through the surface, and that rain dissolved the rock, which is what made this cave over millions and millions of years. And in our cave, there's a bunch of different types of speleothems, which are all these things that you see decorating the walls. Now, those are made by a process that's called calcite deposition. So, whenever it rains above ground, all that water starts traveling down through the ground. And in the ground, there's gonna be a lot of minerals. Whenever the water moves through those minerals, it picks up a mineral called calcite. So, that water eventually reaches an open space in the cave that we're in, and anywhere a water droplet falls down, it's leaving behind small amounts of that calcite mineral, and that'll start to build up and build all the formations that we have today. Another word for formations is speleothems, a little bit more fancy, and there's a bunch of different types of speleothems with some pretty fun names. The most common are our soda straws, which are those really skinny, almost noodle-looking ones hanging down up there. Then we have our stalactites, which are those spiky ones hanging down. You can remember them because the stalactites hold on tight to the ceiling. Then there's also the stalagmites. Those are the ones at the bottom. And you can remember them because the stalagmites might go up and reach the ceiling. There's also cave bacon. They're called cave bacon because they look like big strips of bacon that hang down from the side of the wall. And then there's cave popcorn. They look like freshly popped popcorn. But yeah, those are all of our speleothems, most of them that we see throughout the cave. But one thing to remember is whenever you're going through a cave and admiring all these different things, it's very important to not touch any of them because everybody has oils on our skin and the oils can destroy all of these formations. It can cause a lot of damage and can stop them from continuing to grow. A lot of the formations that we're seeing here are still growing, so we really want to protect them. We've got to be really careful what we bring around these natural areas, especially with all the chemicals. It can cause a lot of damage, especially to all of the critters that live in here as well. All right, class, go ahead and keep on following me.
Did you hear that, Antonio? Stalagmites, stalactites. This place has so many formations.
Yeah, but did you also hear they have cave food? Popcorn, bacon, this place is so delicious.
Alrighty, so right here we get to see something pretty cool. We get to see some fossils. You could see there's one right there, another one right there, and a third one right there. What's cool about that is the state that we're in, this used to be covered in the sea about millions and millions of years ago during the Cretaceous period. And in the sea, there was a bunch of animal life that lived in there. And eventually they became fossils, and now we can see them in the walls. Now we're standing 180 feet underground, which is pretty deep. This is the lowest that we're gonna be going. Over on the wall, right up over there, if you guys look, there's a really big formation. We call that formation our pipe organ, because it looks like a pipe organ, and that's where this room gets its name from. Cathedral room, gotta have a pipe organ, so that's where they got that. Then a little bit up further on the ceiling over there, you could see a lot more soda straws that are hanging down, and they are really, really long too. The reason they were able to get so long is because this cave was completely sealed off, so that didn't allow anything to come in and damage them. Whoa. Welcome to our cathedral room, and here we get some really good examples of flowstones, soda straws, and more stalactites and stalagmites.
Time out. Antonio, did you know that rain created all of these beautiful formations?
Yeah, I thought they only made puddles in my backyard. What? Is this something I said?
Now, in these caves, there's a bunch of cave critters that live in here. Actually, we have a lot of biologists that come and study the critters that they find here at Natural Bridge Caverns. And the farther you go, there's different types of critters. There's 3 different zones in the cave. There's first, the entrance zone. And in the entrance zone, you usually find animals like bears or raccoons. There's plants that are in there because there's a lot of light. The next zone is the twilight zone. And in the twilight zone, there's not as much light, there's not any plants either. And in the twilight zone, you find the most common animal that you usually think of whenever you think of caves, which are bats. So, bats usually live in the twilight zone. In fact, in the cave right next to us, the Bracken Bat Cave, lives the largest colony of Mexican free-tailed bats in the entire world. 20 million bats. But don't worry, they're only the size of our little thumbs. That's how small they are. Then the next zone is the dark zone. In the dark zone, there's absolutely no light at all. And in there lives cave harvestmen. Now, cave harvestmen kind of look like spiders, like daddy long legs. But they're not actually spiders. They've lost their eyes and lost their color. And even though they might look small to us, they're actually the largest predator in these caves. Well, friends, that ends our adventure. I hope you guys had fun coming to Natural Bridge Caverns and that you learned something along the way. If you guys have any questions, you are more than welcome to come and ask me. I'm gonna be the last one to leave, but I hope you guys enjoyed again. You get to tell all your friends that you came and saw this awesome cave. Now, let's go find your teacher.
Oh, good. You're all here. Did you have fun here in the Natural Bridge Caverns tour? Yeah, you learned all kinds of stuff. But I do have some questions before we hit the bus and get some lunch. Who's ready for lunch?
Me!
Me too. Okay, well, we have come a long way underground, but I want to see if you remember how far we've come. Was it 50 feet? Was it 100 feet? Was it 180 feet? Or was it 350 feet underground? Which one?
180.
That's right. We are 180 feet underground right now. The amount of the world is coming down on us. Okay, it's not. We're safe, I promise. Now, the place we're in was created millions and millions of years ago. But you saw something stuck in the wall a little earlier. Was it seashells? Was it coral? Was it the skeleton of a big fish? Or was it the bones of a prehistoric dinosaur? Which ones did you see stuck? What do you think? Anyone know? Anyone know?
Bones.
What do you think? You thought it was bones. What did you think? What do you think it was? Yeah, that's right. It was seashells, because this place was created when the ocean was floating here in Texas, and things landed on the bottom of the ocean, and that layer built up, and then the ocean water went away, and then fresh water came underneath it from springs and filled these caverns, and then carved out the place you're in today. And when those receded, you saw the remnants of what created the limestone walls behind us. Ancient fossils, ancient organisms. Lastly, we saw all kinds of amazing formations, right? Rose was talking about the bacon and the popcorn and the stalactites and the stalagmites. But which one hangs from the ceiling? Is it a stalactite or a stalagmite?
Stalactite.
Oh, it's a stalactite. What do you think? Is he right? You're absolutely right. It is a stalactite, because stalactites hang on tightly to the ceiling. Stalagmites might grow up one day and touch that ceiling. You guys are amazing explorers. Now, I do give you one more choice. Do you want to go to lunch, or do you want to go in to an undiscovered portion of this cave full of cave critters, water, jagged edges, and steep drops. Who picks the cave?
Cave.
Who wants lunch?
Cave.
Okay, this is a democracy, so you win. So let's see, we got everyone. Rose? Antonio, do you know where Rose went?
No.
Okay, I need you to go around the corner there and see if you can find her. Kids, I'm gonna start getting you back to the bus and I'll come back and make sure you got Rose, all right?
Okay.
So go get Rose, and the rest of you guys, let's get to lunch. Everything's fine. Come on, it's gonna be fine.
Rose. Rose. Rose, where are you? Rose, everyone's on the bus. We gotta get going. Come on, Rose. We gotta go.
Antonio, come here.
Rose. Where's that light coming from?
You wouldn't believe it. Come here.
This was not on the tour.
Hey, come here.
I don't know.